Hi, Deborah Kenner.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm so glad that you're doing this today. I'm
Yeah.
gonna a couple things and reasons why we are talking today. Well, first of all, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You are a faculty at the Pacific Northwest. Okay,
Yes.
working with that. I want to talk a little bit about your Pilates, being a master teacher, what that's like.
Okay.
What is that like? And then I want to talk to you what you're doing for the Dance for Parkinson's. It seems like it's a great cause, and I think it's an important cause. And I would like to get into that. The fitness industry, and we're going to talk about that dynamic too, about working together. But let's go ahead and why don't you introduce yourself and talk about what you do at the PNB and talk about what you do at the Pilates, and we can go from there.
Okay. Sounds good. I've been at PNB for 10 years now. I teach mainly in the children's program, so ages 2 through 7, and then also level 1 and level 2, which is 8, 9, and 10 years old. And then I'm also a open teacher, and I stick primarily with the beginner adults. I am also at PNB with the conditioning program, so we do Pilates, and we created our own essential bar class, maybe 4 years ago, to help dancers and non-dancers improve their stability.
Wow. Now, how has that gone? Have the dancers responded positive to that?
Some yes, some no. It's hard to get dancers to understand that you don't have to be turned out all the time to build strength. And so getting them to pull back in and find those little muscles has been challenging, but good.
Yeah, it's true. When you are at least a younger dancer, you do go through your training, think you better not turn in because you will lose your turnout.
Yes.
So that's a complete. I have felt that before.
Oh,
Absolutely.
oh yeah.
And I might have
As
been a person that resisted you when I was younger.
I would have resisted myself also.
So then the question comes up: where did that change? Where did you just understand it better? And then how do you convince dancers? You just force it upon them, say you're going to do the class and this is what's going to be. How does that work?
Usually I talk about anatomy and that when we're turned out, those muscles are stretched and so they start to weaken a bit. And so by pulling back and turning in, we can strengthen them. And to work the full range of the hip joint allows more rotation in the hips. My
Nice.
dog is here today too.
Oh, what is your dog's name?
Her name's Sammy.
Oh, hi, Sammy. I love that. That's great. So, which kind of goes into what you do now as being a balanced body master instructor. So, how long have you been doing that, and how does that translate into the classes that you're teaching at the PNB?
So I went through master teacher training last year, and right after I finished training, they threw me into a training program. So I'm on, and this is my second year training teachers. Um, how does it translate? It's a whole different world. Like working with someone that wants to be a dancer and resists learning new ways to strengthen muscles is different than someone that wants to learn how to help the dancers. So I feel like there's more pushback from a few dancers when the Pilates instructors are just like little sponges and want to soak up more information.
No, it's because you're teaching teachers who want to teach. So they're
Yes.
they're like, oh, give me more, give me more.
Yeah.
Have you dealt with the public also? Do you deal with non-dancers?
Yes. Yes. Most of my Pilates clients are non dancers.
And that they responded positive to what you've been teaching them?
Yes. I have a little community of mat class students that are mainly non dancers. There's a few that were dancers. They're older women and a few men sprinkled in there, but they've responded really positively to Pilates and me pulling them back and teaching them primal movement. So I have these women rolling around on the floor and just going back to basics every once in a while because I feel like basics are so important.
Speaking of that,
Yes.
that where we are now, and we are in this box,
Yes.
as an instructor, and you teaching these kids 2 to 7, and you got 8, 9, 10 year olds. Let's talk about a little bit more about how you have adjusted to this new scenario and what you're providing for them.
So with my community, I created 2 mat classes over Zoom that have been pretty successful. We have a happy hour on Wednesday and then our normal Saturday morning class, and they show up early. We chat afterwards, and I feel like to get people to move, we have to create a community. And so just making sure that we still come together at least twice a week has been important so that no one gets left behind. And then we move and we talk about what we've been doing, but moving while we're talking.
And you've kept it consistent,
Yes.
which is really important. Then they look forward to something.
Right.
Then you're getting them to move, and you're making them feeling good about their bodies.
Right. And we're like a family, so if someone's not going to show up, I always get a text with, I'm not going to be there today, this is why. And I think like accountability right now is really important, even for myself. Like I have to be there too.
And for ourselves, right? We just had, no matter what we're doing, we know at this time you got to be there.
Right.
That's what
Right.
makes it here too. So, I think, as a dancer, you're in a company, you keep yourself in this little arrow, this kind of narrow path. And I actually, Deborah, I think the fitness is very similar to that, if not more so. How, do you feel like this might change the way the fitness industry looks at each other? Because we are very competitive, and we think that we're holding on to something when in reality everybody's really doing the same thing in their own technique.
Right. So the one thing I found before I started training for Balanced Body was that Pilates instructors, they go through the training and then they just go off and do their thing. And every once in a while come together for a continuing education program, but really you're kind of on your own, even if you're in a big studio. You might share ideas. But with Balanced Body, they've really pulled us together to create community, and we from all over the world. So they've offered continuing education for us. We have town hall meetings every so often. And I feel like this is bringing us together more, because I don't think if we wouldn't be staying at home and not out there doing our own thing, there wouldn't be these town hall meetings. And I think it's important that as fitness instructors, we are doing the same thing. We're trying to get the same results. And I think coming together is what's going to happen, whether it's virtually or in a studio. But I think more and more people are taking other people's classes and promoting each other because they're offered now.
It's almost by nature what's happening. It's just that by nature that people it's just naturally happening that way. You can resist it and fight it, but why do so when we really are in it together? Even as
Right.
right. Yeah. And I hope, and you can chime in if you like, but I hope that this scenario creates more of that community feel, even if you're a Balanced Body, Stop, or What I Do, or whatever it is, that we really are in it together for what? What's the reason we're together? We're doing this because we want to help people.
Exactly.
We
Well, and
want
we're all like, I say that we're all climbing the same mountain. How we get there may be different, but we're all climbing that same mountain to be healthy and move.
totally agree. So I want to get to something that maybe is a little more personal to you, and
Okay.
I want to make sure you send me the link whenever you get that chance. Okay, and
I did send it to you.
you
The
did. So
St Judes.
I'll
I,
add that into this when we're done. But let's talk about a couple things. You're a dancer
okay.
for Parkinson's. What is
Yes.
that all about? What does that mean? What is that?
So it's through Seattle Theater Group, and we actually are part of the huge Dance for Parkinson's started by Mark Morris in New York. That's worldwide. We offer classes all over the city. There's, I think, 8 different locations that happen when we're allowed to let them happen. Right now, we've gone virtually, so we have 3 days a week that we meet. We also have a Dance for Life group that helps. You don't even have to have Parkinson's to come to these classes. Any mobility issues, caregivers, everybody comes to these classes. And it's amazing that people walk in and just not having the best day, and then we dance and move and kid, and they walk out completely different people. It's amazing.
And do you find that's happening virtually also? Do you think that when people are walking into this scenario and there are all these other people around and they're doing it, do you find that they're having the same result?
I think we're missing that connection that we get in the studio, but I do feel the movement is helping. And just seeing people, we have a little chat afterwards, and the boxes are all up of all the participants, and everybody has huge smiles on. And it's so heartwarming that we can do it virtually. I wasn't sure. I was really worried about all the dancers, but we're doing it.
Doing it? That's great.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing it?
2017, I think, is when I started. I actually saw a video on Facebook, and I posted it, and I said, "This is my calling. I need to do this." And I had a friend connect me with Seattle Theater Group, and it just took off.
Fantastic. So let's talk about this last thing is talk about this St. Jude's fundraiser. Talk to me about what that is and what inspired you to do that.
So after my father passed away, I started running to clear my mind. My cousin got me into running to help with that, and I did a few half marathons and 5Ks throughout since 2016, and I decided this year that if I was going to do a run, it had to be for a cause. And the Rock and Roll Marathon is a fundraiser for St. Jude, so I applied to be a St. Jude hero, and I was accepted, and I started my fundraising, and I'm just hoping that they don't cancel it. It's in June, so I hope that it still goes through.
Interesting. So they might not do the run at all, but
Right.
still go to the St. Jude's. It's still
Yes, the fundraising still goes to St. Jude no matter what.
important. So we want to make sure they get that link and get the link for the Parkinson's classes. I want to add it to this interview because some of these classes are just really just important.
Yeah, I agree.
And Deborah, I will say that you're right. It's different when you can't touch and be people like that. But I would say though, like this interaction right here has been an interaction I would never have had if I didn't, you know what I mean?
I totally agree.
And I think that this is as heartwarming to me, hopefully it was to you.
Yes, thank you.
To know somebody, good to know you. So I do appreciate it. Please, let's keep in touch.
Of course, of course.
I appreciate you being here, and hope anybody who's watching this, we'll put the notes down into the Facebook feed. Spread it around. She got some great causes. Join in. I'm gonna get that link for the Dance for Parkinson's and the Dance for Life. Whatever. I want that. I'm gonna join myself. I want to get in there and see what it feels like.
Oh, excellent. So I teach the Wednesday class with my friend Naomi. And Naomi dances with Houston Ballet, and she's lovely. So
I would love that. And this is Pacific time, right? Are you out there?
Yes, Pacific time.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Yes. This is Deborah Kenner. She is a P&B faculty. She teaches kids. She's a balanced body master instructor, or you're going into being a master instructor and you instruct teachers. I love that. And also kind of good stuff. So check her Facebook feed, check her profile, see what she's doing. And thank you so much for being here. And let's keep in touch. And I might contact you in a couple months and see how you're doing. I think we should do like a coming back on again.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.